Hi, I'm Stephanie Lindloff from Our Natural Wisdom. I am an eco-intuitive life coach and teacher, and this is my weekly free offering, Reclaim Your Peace with Mother Earth. So glad to have you here today. The people that I work with, the women that I work with they're busy women, they're anxious, they may be struggling with self-doubt and perfectionism, and I teach you how to reclaim your peace through simple moments in connection with nature. I today want to focus on something that is very present in my life, and I'm guessing that if you're here, it may be for you as well, and that is self-doubt. It is something that has been with me for my entire life. I think that it is very much connected to having chronic anxiety and also with perfectionism. So today I wanted to talk with you about it because I have recently come out of a period of some pretty intense self-doubt, and I wanted to share with you some really three keys to releasing that. And I'm not going to say to overcoming self-doubt, to eliminating it from your life, but three ways that I have found that are very effective at easing it so that you can continue on with your life. And when you know these three keys, you can keep coming back to them whenever you experience a time of deep self-doubt. So as I said, self-doubt is so connected with anxiety and perfectionism. I think a lot of it has to do with the fear of not, achieving some standard that we have set for ourselves or doubting our capabilities. Maybe there's some imposter syndrome that crawls in, some thoughts that, you're a fraud, or you don't know as much as you think you do, or what you have to say is not important in the world, or you don't have enough understanding of a particular situation to take action. So self-doubt can really cause us to grind to a halt, a screeching halt, when it comes time to taking steps that will improve your life, that will bring you greater fulfillment, that will bring you greater peace. And a client of mine also has described this as feeling like you're trapped in your own mind, which I think is such a perfect way to put it because it's we get into that place of rumination, right? And I had another session, another episode that deals with rumination, and you might want to check that out. I forget the number, but it's not that many ago, maybe in the early 60s in terms of the number of the episodes. Tips to overcome rumination. But today I wanted to focus on how to get past some self-doubt. And my cat is scratching to get out the door, so just a moment. Go ahead. Go, Junie, go. Oh, the joys of live video, right? Cats have no self-doubt. That's, if you're a cat owner or have been around cats, you know that they are confident as heck, right? So I love to channel from my cat, right? I'll just check her out and sense her self-confidence, and sometimes that actually can really help. But today I wanted to just share with you those three keys to how to release self-doubt when you recognize that you're in that place. And really, it comes down to connecting with this deep well of self-compassion that you hold within yourself. We all have this infinite capability to extend ourselves compassion. This is coming from your soul. This comes from your connection with the divine, however you choose to define it. It comes from your connection from your highest self. You have a huge amount of self-compassion that is available to you. And we forget this. We forget this. We have so many stories around why self-compassion is difficult to access, whether, we feel like we've never experienced it before, or we don't know how to cultivate it, or we don't know, the first step of how to get. So today I wanted to focus on it in our episode today, how to move through self-doubt by accessing your self-compassion. One of the ways that is so powerful to do this is by connecting with nature, with Mother Earth. And of course, you won't be surprised to hear me say that one of the ways that I most recommend to my clients and students to reconnect and cultivate your self-compassion is through gardening, because gardening is so accessible. It can be right outside your door. And there are very powerful reasons why working with a garden, connecting with a garden, creating and nurturing a garden also nurtures and cultivates your sense of self-compassion, your ability to tap into that. And this is just a taste of what I get into in my upcoming online course, The Eco-Intuitive Garden. It begins this coming Monday, April 8th. So enrollment closes for this season at noon Central Time on Saturday, April 6th. If you have any interest in exploring how you can reclaim your peace and reawaken your wild wisdom, all while healing Mother Earth, I invite you to check out the course. You can click the link down below in the description for more, or you can go to my website at ournaturalwisdom.com, click on Work With Me, and there you'll see the link for the Eco-Intuitive Garden, my online course. All right, so let's get to it. So the three things that I feel gardening and connecting with plants in particular really nurtures your sense of self-compassion. First of all, when we are connecting with nature, and especially if it is something that you have planted with your own hands, you connect with a sense of kindness and tenderness and nurturing. And all of these things are all part of tapping into your self-kindness. When we experience kindness for others, whether it's people or animals or plants, you are also able to more easily access your self-kindness. And if it's difficult for you to access kindness to yourself, and I understand that, I have gone through many times in my life where it feels like a huge challenge to access that self-kindness. Not even self-compassion, but just being kind to myself, because I can be so critical of myself, so judgmental, and so harsh with myself. And if you feel this too, I encourage you to seek out a relationship with something that you can nurture, something that has a level of tenderness and growth. I feel that connecting with animals and connecting with plants is really a surprising portal into strengthening your self-kindness, because once again, you are nurturing something that is tender, that is growing. And every time you nurture that sense of kindness for others, you are also able to connect with it more deeply within yourself. So that's number one, self-kindness. Number one as the key to accessing self-compassion and to nurturing your self-compassion. Number one is tapping into your kindness. All right, number two is about mindfulness. Now, I talk about mindfulness a whole lot because it is something that nature and your garden really helps you connect with. This is for a lot of reasons, but one of the key reasons is that when you are in nature, we are just naturally drawn to observation. And especially if you're doing this with the intent to be open, to receive wisdom, to receive, messages from the world around you, to be open to learning in any way, it involves a level of observation, especially when you are doing this with nature. And again, I find that tapping into mindfulness in your garden is so effective because it is literally right outside your door. It brings you to a place of presence in the moment that allows you to still your mind and to begin to observe your own thoughts. Mindfulness is not, some people might disagree with me, but in my opinion, mindfulness is not about attaining some place where you are completely devoid of any thoughts, where your mind is clear and you're just like sitting there in a trance, in a state of bliss. When I talk about mindfulness, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about that deep presence, that ability that you have, that we all have, to be present in the moment and to observe how you are thinking and feeling in the moment without being embroiled in what is happening. Nature allows us to access that place of stillness and presence so beautifully, so easily, because there's a natural observation that is happening. You can allow those thoughts to be, you can observe them, and you can recognize when they are not true, when they are not true, when they are not serving your highest good. So, being in nature, being in the garden, cultivates this ability that you have to tap into mindfulness. And it is in your presence in the moment that you are able to detach from those thoughts, if only for a few seconds, to detach long enough to recognize that they are no longer serving you and that in many cases they are not even true. They may be old stories, old, thoughts that are self-limiting, that are preventing you from moving forward in some way. Excuse me, thoughts that stoke that sense of self-doubt. When you are aware and able to observe those thoughts through your presence, then that is deeply healing for you. And that is the second step to releasing self-doubt and to accessing, to cultivating your self-compassion. The third key, the third step is I'm going to put a little different spin on it than I have heard in the past. A lot of research has been done on self-compassion, particularly by Kristen Neff, who is from the University of Texas, Austin. She has wonderful resources about self-compassion. And she calls this third key to accessing your self-compassion common humanity. Now, I don't want to disregard nature from that. So rather than focusing on the human condition, I want to focus on our level of connectedness throughout nature, because you are nature. We are all nature. We are part of nature. And when we allow ourselves to reconnect with that knowing and see ourselves as part of this, interconnected, beautifully, mutually beneficial system that we are all part of, life force energy, we can feel this deep sense of connection with all things, not in a way that feels overwhelming or that feels codependent in any way, but rather this deep sense of support that you know how to support yourself, that you know that you have the capability and the wisdom to access all of the answers that you are seeking to have addressed in your life so that you can take those steps, so that you can move forward in creating greater fulfillment for yourself. So, one of the things that I started to do intentionally on this note of tuning more into our sense of interconnection in the world, especially with nature. And this is gonna sound very minor, but I assure you it has made a really profound impact for me, is that to begin addressing beings within nature, trees, plants, animals, as the beings that they are, addressing them as they or as he or she, if you choose that pronoun, rather than it. Because when we approach something and call it it, there's automatically a chasm that is developed, that somehow we are different, that we are separate, that there is not a connection there, because an it is an object, right? It is not a living, breathing, growing, experiencing being like we are surrounded by in nature and in our gardens. The more that we begin to connect with nature as beings that have so much wisdom to provide us, so much wisdom to reawaken within us, and with truly the support that we need to survive in this world, from the air we breathe to the food we eat to the clothes we wear and the water we drink. Everything nature is providing for us. So nature is aspects, beings of nature are not its. They are they. He, she, they. I encourage you to begin referring to beings of nature in this way rather than it. And just see what that tiny, seemingly tiny change has in terms of your level of connection that you feel with plants, with animals, with all parts of nature, with trees, with rivers and rocks and the wind, everything. So those are the three keys, three steps that have really helped me as I cycle in and out of a lot of self-doubt, just like so many women do. And just to, go through them again, if you're feeling a time of deep self-doubt, the first step is not to launch into a place of huge, massive action. Your first step is to go to that well of self-compassion that you hold within yourself. The more you do, the stronger that practice becomes, the more automatic it becomes that when you are feeling self-doubt, you move to self-compassion. You move to those three steps of self-kindness, of mindfulness and observing your thoughts, and of a sense of connection with all living things, including especially the beings of nature that are offering to support you in so many beautiful ways. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. And once again, if you are feeling guided to deepen this work for yourself, as well as learn how to create a vibrant, beautiful garden of native plants that directly heals Mother Earth, then I encourage you to check out my online course, The Eco Intuitive Garden, a simple path to reclaim your peace, Awaken Your Wild Wisdom, and Heal Mother Earth. Class starts on Monday, April 8th. Enrollment ends on Saturday, April 6th. You can check out the link down below or head on over to my website at ournaturalwisdom.com and click on Work with Me. Oh, and just an added bonus, when you enroll this week, you are entered in a drawing to win a $50 gift card from Prairie Nursery, one of my favorite online distributors of native plants. So not only do you learn all about how to create a garden and how easy it is and how much peace you can receive through creating a garden, but you also could win free plants. Woohoo! All right, thanks again. It was so great to be with you today. I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday right here on YouTube Live. Take care. Bye-bye.